Welcome to the Riccio Werkstatt. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I would like to show you how to use my palette tool that is available for you online for free. So here we have 4 different functions and I want to have a look at them together with you. The 4 functions are visualize palette, rotate palette, get pigment information, and translate color from one range to the other range. So I gave the title to this video as how to create a Neocolor palette, because this is one of my fundamental questions on my creative journey, and I really find it an interesting question. And here on this tool you have some help to get inspiration for new palettes. And my idea here is to, first of all, visualize the palettes that function for you on this graph, on this LAB plot. And then maybe by looking at them in this way, you can find insights on how to get other interesting palettes from that one. From one palette that functions for you. That's why I have the rotate palette tab. So here, we proceed this way. We have, I will show you 3 use cases of this app, how you can use it for your creative journey. So the first use case is to get inspiration for new palettes by drawing random palettes. So here you see you have a whole selection of ranges of Caran products. So you have Neocolor I, Neocolor II, Neocolor II with 50 years special edition colors, Neopastel, Luminance, Neoart, and Supracolor Soft. And here you can select the number of colors in the palette that you want to draw at random. So let's say 10, and then you click on Draw Palette, and you see here which palette comes out. For example, this one, I don't like it. Then I can draw another one. This one, interesting. I like it already much more, and I could think of using it for a drawing maybe. But here, let's say the 35, the ochre, I don't really find it useful in this palette, so I can remove it. And then maybe I can add something like, which color would be nice here? The ruby red. And then I click on it and it's added to the palette. And here you can see how the palette is distributed in the LAB space. Here you have all your colors in this palette and the number, the name, and the light fastness rating. So this is the first use. And then from this palette, you can rotate it in the LAB space and you get a rotated palette. The idea why I decided to do this part is to create or to get other palettes with the same structure in the LAB space as the original one. So here we have rotated it by 180 degrees, but we can also rotate it by that many degrees, 281, or just like 70 degrees. And you see you get other palettes that could be interesting for you to experiment with. So just play around with it. Sometimes it's giving useful insights, sometimes not. So this is the first use case, generate a new palette. Then the second use case is to translate color. So now we want to translate a color from Luminance to Neocolor with special edition colors. And here, for example, in the Luminance range, I have the anthraquinoid pink, which I really like. And this tool gives me the 3, or here I can select 4, 5 closest colors to this anthraquinoid pink in the Neocolor range. And here, as with the delta E, you can see the distance. So the smaller this delta E, the more similar the color is to the anthraquinoid pink. So here you see, for example, we have Rose of Carans, which is a very close match, and then Salmon Pink as well. And then you have other options. So this is an idea. For example, if you're drawing with Luminance, you have your nice palette that you really like, but then you would like to draw something with Neocolor with kind of the same palette. You can translate your palette from Luminance to Neocolor to get close matches for your colors in a certain palette. So this is the second use case, translate color. And the fourth use case is about the pigment information. So let's go. Here we need to select a range that has pigment information. Neocolor doesn't have pigment information, but Neopastel and Luminance have pigment information. So I select Luminance, for example. And then I go to translate pigment information. Here you see the plot of all the Luminance colors and with the light fastness and the pigments contained in each color. Here you can do different things. One thing is to select colors containing a certain pigment. For example, which colors have cobalt blue? And here you see the 4 colors having cobalt blue, which is this PB28. The other thing that you can do is to select colors that do not contain a certain pigment. For example, bone black. Let's say you don't want to have pigment black 9, bone black. And here you get all the colors that don't contain it. And you can of course combine those two. For example, let's say color that contains pigment black 9 but does not contain pigment yellow 42. And here you see the selection of such colors. You can also select colors that contain, for example, only one pigment. So these are all single pigments colors. And so I find it quite useful to just understand what you're drawing with, exploring like the art medium in more depth, and also maybe just filtering. Let's say, yeah, you want to have colors that contain Mars black. Then you say pigment black 11. There are no single pigment colors with Mars black, but here no. But there are some 3 pigments colors that contain Mars black, and you see which ones they are. So these are the use cases for this little app. But what you can do is also to go to my website, Riccio Werkstatt. Here you see also my portfolio, what I have been drawing, and here there is a dedicated tab about the Neo palette. It takes a second to load, and here you have your Neo palette, and you can play around with it and let me know in the comments if you find it useful, if there are functions that you would like to have in a different way or additional functions. Let me know if you had some wins by playing around with this palette app, and I hope that this can help you get acquainted in more depth with your materials by Caran and also to get new ideas for palettes to use in your creative and colorful journey. Thank you for watching until the end, and I hope to see you soon in the next video.